Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Makaya. Thank you so much for coming back. To all my returning subscribers, and if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button so you can join the family. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for 150 subscribers. I hit 150 like a while ago, but I haven't been able to record for a couple of reasons. So the first being that I felt sick. It wasn't that serious. I'm okay now, so thank God. Yeah, I was sick for a couple of days, and so I just took that time to relax and recharge and just try to get better. So I'm okay now. But then the second thing is I've been busy with work and just so many other things going on that I hope to share with you guys in the near future. So hopefully you guys can get to know what I've been working on, because it's something I'm very excited about. And yeah, I hope to share that soon. But then the other reason, which is probably like the most important one, is that I've been busy talking to like most of you guys. So a lot of y'all reached out to me and we're able to set up one-on-one meetings where we could get to talk about your plans and just things you'd like to know about studying in the US. And I was really happy and excited about that, because ultimately that's what this channel is about. I hope to just give as much information to you guys as possible. So maybe next year I might start like a formal platform. Right now it's just kind of like a pilot project, if you'd like to call it that. So maybe next year I would set up like a formal platform where I can get to meet a lot of other people, and we could just have like those one-on-one meetings. As you can see from the title of today's video, I will be talking about different options you have as an international student to fund your education. And so please stay tuned. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button as well if you haven't yet done so you cannot miss another one of my videos. Before we go into the video though, I would like to shout out one of my very close friends. Her name is Faith Chikuku Kaluba. I like to call her Chikuku. She just started a channel which talks about her journey to becoming a medical student, and she is also studying in the US at Andrews University. And so I get a lot of questions about whether it is possible to study medicine in the US, and as most of you know, it's quite difficult, but she is currently on that journey. So I highly recommend everybody interested in medicine to go over to her channel, show her some love, subscribe, and watch her videos, because I think she will give very important information for those of you who are interested in studying medicine. And she also has a second channel where she posts about her lifestyle and just different fun things. Like, you will love her videos. So definitely head over there and subscribe, like, comment, share, do everything that you can. So before we get into the actual video, just a slight disclaimer. So everything I will discuss is based on people I have interacted with and just listening from their stories, how they've been able to fund their education in the US. I highly recommend that you do your own research, because you never know what options you have. But I would like to say that there are many different options fitting your needs. So whatever you think might be better for you as a student, there's something out there for you for sure. And so yeah, I'll just be talking about those options in that way. So I just wanted to make sure that I made that clear before going on discussing the different options. So the first option I will actually talk about is how I was able to fund my education. So I guess I was blessed or lucky enough to not have my parents pay anything. So my parents did not pay anything towards my education. Everything was fully funded. And this was a need-based, I guess, like financial aid. So I applied for financial aid through the CSS profile, and a lot of you are probably familiar with the CSS profile. So it's quite an extensive application process. They ask for different documents. And so I enlisted the help of my parents, because I could not understand most of the terms that they were describing, or things or documents that they wanted. And so I was able to talk to my parents, and they helped me just fill out that profile, which was very helpful, because I could not have done it alone. But yeah, so I filled out the CSS profile, sent in different documents. You need like a bank statement, a proof of assets, and just different things, proof of your monthly or annual income, and different expenses that you have. So be it entertainment, rent, if you're renting a house. Yeah, I think that those are a few examples of the things that they will ask. And so yeah, just fill that out and then sent it to the different schools. And I guess, from that, I don't know what happens on the other end, but how I picture it is that they have some financial aid calculator. So based on your income level or the income level of your parents, they will put that into the calculator and then see how much aid you need. So need-based financial aid is not dependent on your academic records or scores or anything like that. It's just what it is, need-based. So if you demonstrate that need, you are assured of getting some sort of aid. Could be a full ride, could be partial aid, could be anything really. So yeah, that's like the most of it. So that's what I did, and because I was able to get full aid, I had no need to look for external scholarships or anything like that. But in the event that you don't get full aid, one of my other friends, this is what happened to her. So she applied for need-based financial aid, and she was able to get the school to sponsor a certain percentage of it, but then they left just like maybe say $10,000 for her to pay. But the school then considered her for an internal scholarship. So some schools have internal scholarships. Again, this is a part that you'd have to do research on. So schools have different internal scholarships. So you could apply for those internal scholarships. Some of them, the school would just consider you just, by virtue of you submitting your application, but others you have to actually send in an application. Look into the schools, look into what they have. And some of the schools actually, you could get to apply for these internal scholarships when you're a student. So yeah, they're different scholarships. So keep an eye out for those if you're already a student. And if you're applying to be one, just look at the different options that they have for, funding your education. So then the other thing I wanted to talk about is the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship. So this is a highly competitive merit-based scholarship, I believe, and it's only specific to some schools. And so in the event that you want to study at one school, but it doesn't fall under the MasterCard Foundation, then you unfortunately would not be able to use your MasterCard Foundation scholarship to go to that school. That's the only downside, but it is a very good scholarship. I have like a couple of my friends who applied for a MasterCard and they were able to get it. And, now they're studying at top US and Canadian universities. And so that's something that you can look into, the MasterCard. And I personally did not apply for it because I was intimidated by how competitive it was. But, don't let fear get in your way. Just send out your application and see what happens. You're not losing anything. So that's on the MasterCard. So the other option, which is something I would have done if this whole process had not worked out for me, is apply to United World College or UWC. This is something that one of my other close friends did, and honestly, it's such a great deal. Consider it, especially if you're right now a high school student in your last year and you're just trying to see what options you have. So what happens is that when you send your application to UWC, you will be sponsored to study International Baccalaureate or IB. I hope I'm saying the word right. I really don't know. I should have looked at the pronunciation of this word before doing this. But anyway, International Baccalaureate or IB is similar to A-levels, except I would like to think it's more extensive, I guess both, in the sense that you not only study, like for example, the way A-levels are, I think A-levels are more niche. So you wouldn't just study like math and science, but you would actually study English, and you'd be graded, you'd be living on campus, and you would be exposed to so many different things. So it's like a pre-college life, which I think is highly necessary. If you're not doing A-levels, you should be doing IB, because that's going to prepare you so much for studying abroad in the US. So anyway, what happens with UWC is, first you're sponsored to study for 2 years at any, UWC college. So you study IB for 2 years, and that's going to prepare you to study for, to study whatever you would like to study in the US. After you're done with those 2 years, they will help you with SAT practice, they will help you with applying, and then you will be considered for a scholarship. And so once you apply to those UWC schools, be it in the US or anywhere else, then you will be funded for your education, through a scholarship that they have specific to UWC students. So I think it's a really good program. So please consider this, because it is a wonderful program and I've heard nothing but good things about it. And it connects you to a larger network of other UWC students who are also going through what you're going through. And these tend to be your lifelong friends once you get to college. So that's on the UWC. And then I also have a couple of my friends who would have like different programs through different organizations they're a part of. So it could be like a part of their church. So what your job would be is just make sure you do well on your SATs and prepare your application, write really compelling essays and send them out. And they will take care of all the other funding, financial aid issues and money matters. And so that's what will happen. And I think this is a very good thing to do, because it takes the stress off of you applying, sending out applications, trying to find scholarships and all that stuff. So they will find it for you. So, reach out to your church, reach out to different organizations you might be a part of. You never know what they have to offer. And it just takes you reaching out and seeing what other options you have available for you. The other option you have is that you could also apply as a student athlete. So I have a friend who actually came on a soccer scholarship. So he was admitted to a US university to play soccer. I understand they have like different divisions. So, do your own research on that. There's like a division 1, 2, and 3. And, each division has its own specifications about scholarships and how they will fund your education and different things like that. So look into that if you are good at a sport and you'd like to play competitively for your college. Yeah, so that's also something. Student athletes, from what I've heard, this is something that, again, you have to do your own research on. But from what I've heard, it can be quite stressful to be a student athlete, because sometimes they will pull you out of class to go play a game, and you would have to maybe postpone some exams that you might have just so you can play. So it can be stressful, but I think it's a good deal. You're getting your education funded if you play for your college, and through that you can meet different people if you'd like to play professionally. I don't know what stipulations they have about international students, but if you'd like to play professionally, that's also an option that you have. And yeah, you could apply as a student athlete. The last option I would like to talk about, which in my opinion should be your last resort, is loans. So as an international student, unfortunately, we have very limited options available in terms of loans. So for example, federal loans, we are not eligible for. Most of the loans require you to be an American citizen or permanent resident. But I say that this should be a last resort because it's a loan, right? You're gonna have to pay it back. And it can be quite stressful, especially after you graduate and you're just trying to set your foundation, and then you have these loans that you have to pay back. So last resort, but what you can do, especially if you're considering studying medicine, I know most medical programs are not funded entirely for international students. And so one option that one of my other friends is doing is that you could co-sign with an American citizen on a loan. And once, just find a citizen who's willing to do that, they could co-sign with you and you could get a loan. I'm not sure the inner workings of that and the implications of that, but that's something that I know one of my friends is doing. So obviously it is possible. Yeah, so that's all I had for you today. Please comment down below, hit that like button if you haven't yet done so, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button as well so you can get notified each time I post a new video. Okay, I will see you in my next video. Till then, bye.